From the OUTV Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, California, this is Brief News Brief, a brief look at today's trending news topics, proudly combating the thought police since 2016. Here's your host, James Heaney.
I'm James Heaney, and this is your Brief News Briefing. Great Bulls of Hawaiian Fire. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano continues its dramatic eruption as rivers of lava destroy neighborhoods, toxic gas leaks out of fissures in the ground, and lava jets are shooting into the air. Thus far, the eruption has destroyed 31 homes, with over 1,700 people forced to evacuate. Meanwhile, the Hawaiian volcano doesn't show any signs of slowing down. The world is ending, people! Walls of lava are running along roadsides and destroying homes in the Liliani Estate and Pahoa in Hawaii's Big Island. The United States Geological Survey is urging looky-loos to stop gawking at the epic sight and run. Grab your women, grab your children, and flee for your lives, damn it. It's not the time to be taking pictures. The situation is incredibly dangerous. The top of the volcano is all but completely transformed, and now fissures are running along the side of it. They're narrow openings that go, it seems like, to the center of the earth, because this is where the ground is opening up and spraying toxic gas and lava. Some fissures are producing fountains of shooting lava up to 330 feet in the air. I'm not a builder, but I believe that's 330 stories. That's taller than, not 330 stories. It's 33 stories. It's a tall building of frickin' lava, okay? There are earthquakes everywhere. The most recent big one was 6.9. The Big Island of Hawaii is the youngest and the only active volcano in the Hawaiian Islands. The volcano is between 300 and 600,000 years old and emerged above sea level only about 100,000 years ago. This is basically the way this island was born, and now it's taking a growth spurt, and we're going to see the teenage years of Hawaii. Hopefully, they aren't the terrible teens. Oliver North was announced this week as the new president of the NRA. This is the most exciting news for our members, said the NRA Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre. Oliver North is a legendary warrior for American freedom. North is going to assume the presidency in the coming weeks, once he's officially retired from Fox News, where he was a commentator. Oh, I hope they throw him a lovely retirement party at Fox News. That would be the most exciting. North is 74 years old. He worked on the staff of the National Security Council in the Reagan White House when someone within the administration arranged to sell U.S. arms to Iran in exchange for hostages and then diverted part of the proceeds to help a Nicaraguan Contra force, all right? He has for a long time been involved in the messy business of making money on guns and then funding controversial international militia. Perfect. Just the experience the NRA is looking for. A fresh, young, new face to lead the movement into the next generation, right? Someone who can talk logically with Parkland students. No, wait a second. He's just another 70-something white man whose political heyday was in the boom and busted in the 80s. And still, somehow, he's got power 40-some-odd years later. Wow. The world is going to be really something if we can just hang in there for another short while all these old white men die off. Because, I mean, face it, this 70-year man, in 30 years, there's no way he's going to be alive. And I think in 30 years, we could say that all of his kind will be dead off. Died off, extinct. And we can have the next generation of us starting to at least talk cordially about our issues. North was famously convicted in 1989 of charges including obstructing Congress, unlawfully mutilating government documents, and taking an illegal gratuity. I don't know what that means. An illegal tip? I don't know. Nancy Reagan, though, and I know this lady, okay? Well, not personally, but I know Nancy Reagan, Reagan's wife. She once said of Ollie, she said, Ollie North has a great deal of trouble separating fact from fantasy. Well said, Nancy. Make America great again. We're really doing it. Today, President Trump announced that he will not continue to waiver sanctions against Iran. This will, of course, be a major step towards ending the nuclear agreement that he has called insane. A deal that he says never should have been made. Iran has threatened to reactivate its nuclear program if the United States reneges on any of its obligations under the pact's terms. Trump is also unlikely to specify any specifics of the new United States strategy. He's ripped up this Iran deal, but we don't know what he's going to do. He assures us, though, that he's got a plan. He's got big ideas. He's got a big brain. You might not have realized that he's one of the smartest men that have ever lived. Trump, who criticized the Iran deal throughout his presidential campaign, said just in January that the United States would withdraw unless the agreement was rewritten to address his concerns. Well, it sounds like they didn't address his concerns. Now, Britain, France, and Germany also say that they share Trump's concerns, but they noted that Iran hasn't violated the nuclear accord and said the world was better off keeping the deal in place. Trump's decision comes weeks before he's expected to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. You might recall him, Kimmy Fat Fat. They're meeting in a bid to curb that nation's nuclear weapons program. Now, some foreign policy experts say that canceling the Iran deal could send a message to Kim's regime that the United States is an unreliable negotiating partner. But others say that the Trump White House using this withdrawal is going to send a signal that Iran's deal is not good enough for North Korea and that they need to do better than the Iran deal. So these are high stakes for high rollers. Melania Trump on Monday called a news conference at the White House in the Rose Garden. The First Lady announced that she's declaring her First Lady special project. She's going to devote the rest of her time during the rest of Trump's presidency to the issues children face today and their well-being. She's calling her new campaign Be Best. Be Best. It just sounds weird. It doesn't roll off the tongue very well. I wanted the word the in between be and best. Be the best. But that's just not the way it is. Be the best sounds good, right? Or maybe just change it completely. Make America's children best again. MACBA. We could go with MACBA. All right, it doesn't matter what you call it. The program is supposed to raise awareness to the dangers of online bullying and encourage netiquette, okay? She's going to also explore childhood mental and emotional health and address childhood addiction issues. Now, some people out there are saying, how could she publicly speak when her husband is so publicly embarrassing, doing all this online bullying and also his sex scandals? Well, I'll tell you what, Melania Trump is standing tall, standing firm, and I feel like she's an example of integrity. I don't know her personally, but she conducts herself, I feel, really well. But Trump was sitting there when she made this speech. He was in the front row, and it didn't go without him having a couple of words to say. He said, Melania, your care and compassion for our nation's children, and I have to say this, and I say it to you all the time, inspires us all. That's what he said. All right. In the past, Michelle Obama used her platform as First Lady to promote healthy eating and exercise. Laura Bush backed literacy efforts. Now, some are saying, just some, are saying that maybe the recent passing of Barbara Bush and the experience of hearing the world admire her legacy moved Melania Trump into filling out her role as First Lady in the United States. She attended the funeral noticeably without Donald Trump and rubbed elbows with all the former presidents and all the former presidents' wives. And also recently, unrelated, there was a lot of people talking about how stylish she looked when she was walking around the heads of states and wives in D.C. Melania seems to be taking a firm step forward as Ivanka Trump has recently disappeared from the media spotlight. Will she use her powers for the good of humanity? And if she's going to use the rest of her time during Trump's presidency to work on Be Best, my question is, I hope she can do it quickly, because there's not much time left. On Monday, Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced that the Justice Department will begin prosecuting every person who illegally crosses into the United States along the southwest border. Everyone, but especially migrants traveling with children. So everyone, but especially everyone with children. Sessions said the Department of Homeland Security will begin referring such cases to the Justice Department for prosecution, and federal prosecutors will take on as many of those cases as humanly possible until we get to 100%. He did not state what percent federal prosecutors currently get to. If the end goal is 100%, I don't know where we're at now and what changes need to be made. The DHS officials say that they have seen a significant increase in illegal border crossing over the past year, including a rise in the number of families and unaccompanied children. In fact, in the past month, Border Patrol officers say that they've encountered more than 50,000 immigrants trying to enter the United States from April 2017 to April 2018. The number of apprehensions and inadmissible border crossings tripled, according to the DHS. Tripled from what? The information that has not been disclosed is what the other numbers were. It's just telling us that it's tripled. That's such garbage information. The zero-tolerance measure announced Monday could split up thousands of families because children are not allowed in criminal jails, which is a law we are going to continue along with. So the new rule is that jailing immigrants and then throwing their children out into the streets. I can only suppose that's the new rule. Compassionate conservatism, right? Until now, most families apprehended crossing the border illegally have been released to await civil deportation hearings. Sessions said that in his statement on this matter, "We are not going to let this country be invaded. We will not be stampeded. We will not capitulate to lawlessness. Yee-haw! You're the fakest goddamn cowboy I've ever seen, Sessions."